of October 28th. Won't you please all join me in a pledge of allegiance to begin our meeting? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I start with the roll call, please?
Westwood.
Here.
Conley. Here. Daniels. Here. Davis. Here. Ronin. Yes. Rude. Here. Cuban. Yes.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion from Councilmember Ronning, second from Councilmember Conley, I believe.
Correct.
Any discussion? All right. Let's get a vote.
Conley.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Ronin.
Yes.
Rude.
Yes.
Cuban.
Yes.
6-0, the motion carries, and we will proceed with the agenda as outlined. I'll entertain a motion regarding the minutes of October 14th, 2025.
I move to approve the minutes of October 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
A motion from Councilmember Ronning, and I think I heard Councilmember Daniels jump in there first.
You can have it.
Discussion at the table. First for the second, I should say.
First or second?
Discussion at the table? Hearing none, can we get a roll call, please?
Conley.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Ronin.
Yes.
Rude.
Yes.
Cuban.
Yes.
6-0, the motion passes. Mayor's comments. First thing I want to say is that city council meeting will occur as normally scheduled in 2 weeks. That is on, or well, it's on the second Tuesday, so that is November 11th. The office will be closed that day. However, city council meeting will still go on its schedule. And thank you to Lonnie for making herself available to come in.
And what about our standing committee meeting? How do we get in the
Our
building?
standing committee, will be here.
Okay,
Yes,
all
that'll work.
Okay.
I'll have to run tech on all of those. Thank you.
Unless you have a meeting and teach us
Yeah,
before.
we can do that too. All right. As far as additional reports, Mayor, I would like to point out, for those who may not have figured it out or seen it already on their own, there was an error on the initial property tax statements that went out. You may recall a year and a half ago, we switched from paying for trash on our taxes to paying for trash on our utility bills. It got a little bit further complicated because the first half they did fine. The second half, they took what was in essence half of the annual payment and split it over 2 periods, so it was only half as much. And then it got really complicated when they kept it on this time as well. So it was on, so that was an error. It was communicated to them. As soon as it was called to their attention, they said, oops. They reprinted the bills, and they were already sent out on the 24th of October.
Okay.
So you should see those new bills, if not today, within the next day or two. If you go in to pay your taxes, they already know to take off and not charge you for that. And if anybody just paid it based on that full amount, congratulations, you're paid ahead for your taxes next time. That'll just go onto your account. And I'm sure that the government will love using your money between now and then.
I did say, that the county has already taken those off.
They have, and
So-
they printed it and resent it out already.
So if you pay online, that is the correct amount online.
Okay,
It
Yeah.
should be, anyway.
yeah. It should be, you can look at it, it's there. And we did send out a notice on Friday as well to kind of let people know. So, I went in yesterday and they were dealing with some of that, but it was all going smoothly and as planned. Our agenda actually looks like there's not a lot going on as far as new business for this particular week, but at the same time, it was a great week as far as wrapping things up. So, you may have noticed, and if you haven't, please drive down Broadway to the south end. The Rocky Fork Inn is mostly down. In fact, the part that's not down is basement in the ground, and they were still knocking down walls there. We anticipate that is going to be done, leveled and backfilled and basically seeded by the end of next week. So it'll be to an open space park. What's next is there's still a bank reconstruction project that we'll work on getting done for next year. So something very similar that was done down on the north end of town where the other washout, will get done. And then we'll have some community meetings on kind of what to do furthermore with that space, although it is somewhat limited. And that conversation will be impacted somewhat by the fact that we still don't know the final. We are still working toward also acquiring the Eagle's Nest and making sure that gets torn down as well. And so that may, basically, will that park extend from Rotary clear down to Finn Park is basically a straight park all the way along there.
I have a question. Just because I get asked a lot about Eagle's Nest, is
Yep.
the holdup a price that can't be agreed upon with the
No.
owner?
The holdup is we are trying to acquire it using FEMA funds, which is the same thing that we use to acquire the Rocky Fork Inn. And there is not a bid cycle open yet, so we're waiting for them to make the money available. We have the application completed and ready and all of the information. The owner is still on board, so there's basically an appraisal that has been done and turned in. And that appraisal is what we're using to do that. The arrangements will be the same thing as it was for the Rocky Fork, where the federal will kick in 75% of the pre-flood appraisal value. I will make every effort to chase down additional funds, AKA state funding if it's available, which we were successful in doing on Rocky Fork. What will not be happening is there will not be any local taxpayer dollars spent on that. So one of the conditions is that they understand that if that's all we get is the 75%, then that is the accepted price for the acquisition of the property.
Okay, is the bid cycle predictable?
If you'd asked me that question a month ago, I would have told you yes. So there is variance. Pardon?
The shutdown
There
related?
is variances. We're
Okay.
expecting it to become available in October or November. I have not seen that, and it would not surprise me if that doesn't happen yet.
All right.
So we are actively monitoring it. WWC, our planning group, is monitoring that frequently. And I am maintaining contact with the owner. In fact, I shared with him some pictures of the Rocky Fork, and like I said, I speak with him at least a couple times a month to keep that on the
Cool.
agenda.
All right. Thank you.
On a side note, we are also in conversations, I would like to see Eagle's Nest gone before the next 2 years are gone. I'd also like to see the old hospital not in its current state. That one, we are pursuing some private funding options right now, and I actually think that one's probably more likely to happen sooner than the other.
Great.
But if we can get those 3 pieces of property contributing to our community rather than distracting from it, that will be a good thing. Any other questions on Rocky Fork? Okay. Marshmallow roast to dates to still be announced, but I assume by the next meeting, we'll be able to announce that we are having a marshmallow roast. Whichever we come and invited to, we'll have marshmallow roast out on the property. On site, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon?
Down in that hole where the basement?
No, because
they're
it'll
gonna
be leveled
backfill.
by then.
No.
I'm sorry, let me bring the meeting back up to the table. Also, the 16-inch bypass going up to the west bench is mostly completed, but completed to the point that White Avenue is now up, and we are running on a temporary PRV that's in line. We are waiting for the primary pressure reducing valve, so that I don't just throw acronyms out there, that is gonna go in the old, building up there that used to be, the pumps and the other materials. We're expecting those parts to come in probably in December, so either December or January, we will put that in line, and we will keep the temporary PRV in place. It basically costs the same amount to acquire it as it does to rent it, while we were using it as a temporary mechanism. And that gives us the ability, if we ever have to work on that main valve, we just switch back to it, and we've kind of got redundancy built into the system. But White is now open, and it's paved and back in. And by the way, they're mostly done with a lot of the street projects. That's kind of there.
What's going on Hauser?
So, Hauser, I was gonna get there, so on
I figured you
Hauser,
might
there is a water leak. It is anticipated that will be done and wrapped up by the end of the day tomorrow.
Okay.
However, given the time of year, it will probably not be paved this year. It'll probably be millings that are packed down to get us through the winter.
Okay, I'll slow people down on Hauser.
And there we go.
That's what we want.
I know.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Hair of the road's out, sorry.
And while we're talking about things that are kind of closing up and wrapping up right now, the upstairs remodel is going very, very well. For those of you who haven't been up there, I encourage you to do so, and I'll extend that invitation out to the public as well. Somebody can come give you a tour of that. But what did happen this last week as part of that is the many decades-old three-phase alarm that goes off at noon every day has now been replaced with a new two-phase alarm. It is not as loud as the last one, but it goes out in 360 degrees. So everybody hears about it, not just the people who live that way. So that is done, and that is still going off automatically pre-scheduled at noon. So like I said, a lot of things kind of came to a head and wrapped up this last week. Frisbee Golf, I'm going to go ahead and mention this, is meeting Wednesday at 7:30 at the Community Foundation. They're actually having a meeting of the groups that are all using that space up at Coal Miners Park. And so they're having a meeting of those groups getting together to basically work together and be able to come to the Parks Board and City Council plan with their plan. I know the analogy that comes to mind is mediation. They're gonna go work it out and come to us with a solution that we can say, yes, that works, and it's wonderful. So that's very nice that those groups are working together.
Excuse me, you said Wednesday night?
Wednesday at 7:30.
So after Parks Board?
Tomorrow, after Parks
Oh,
Board.
tomorrow, the Parks Board,
No,
not the
Parks
next
Board's a
one.
week, it's a
Okay.
week from
All
Monday.
right.
This is tomorrow meeting. And I just mentioned that, so if there are user groups that are up there that may not have heard about it and would like to go participate with that, they are
Okay,
welcome to do
great.
so.
Hope they're all there.
Tomorrow night.
Mr. Mayor?
Hauser, I already mentioned that. Our wastewater project is also done for the year. So that was the lining in, and that'll be getting wrapped up and paid for in claims next time around.
That'll be a good one.
I think that's all I had for that portion of the agenda. Any questions or anything I failed to,
I think
council member?
I did do the tour of the upstairs, and I was quite impressed with the recycling of the doors and the things that came out of.
The doors and all of the
Nice.
base layer
Good.
is actually stuff that came out of the Rocky Fork property.
Which I thought was really a good use of recycling and keeping it alive.
Yeah, that was the part that we had control over.
You wanna talk about that?
Well, because then you'll just yell at me for covering everything.
That's okay. It's part of, like, we did just complete our 3-year water study that they do. And thanks to the efforts of our water department, there were like 3 very minor suggestions or recommendations that came out of it. But overall, a good success, and we are in good shape. Does that cover everything you wanted to address there? yes.
All right, any other questions from the table? All right. The next thing I'd like to move to is, you'll notice in Mayor's business, we also have a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I believe we have some folks who wanted to speak briefly with the council. I would like to invite you to come up to the table, if you would, or would you like to?
Sure.
Go ahead and come up, and actually I'm gonna have you come to this one, because that's where the mic pickup is. And if you would start just by introducing yourself, and then please keep your comments to 3 to 5 minutes. Wow, you're on TV.
Ooh, this is exciting, friends. I'm Erin Bassett. I am the office coordinator and home again manager for Domestic and Sexual Violence Services in Red Lodge, Carbon County. I have with me one of our advocates that hails all over. She helps mostly with Carbon County, but also with Stillwater County as well. We really appreciate the city recognizing Domestic and Sexual Violence Awareness Month for October. as a city and in continuing to help support our organization, work at ending violence in our community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I apologize that this is here, at the end of the month rather than the beginning of the month. It's always nice to be able to do these things at the beginning of the month. But we didn't have a version we could tweak and edit and add things like the signature line and letterhead and stuff too. But the very sad reality is that domestic violence is a very real thing in Montana. And I wish we weren't as high in the rankings as we are. So, with that, there is a proclamation that is included in the packet. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it official right now, that we are recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So thank you very much for raising this to our attention and presenting that. If you'll hand that down to Lonnie, we'll get that as an official signed copy out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I will let me not jump ahead, sorry. At this time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have public comment. This is the first of, multiple public comment periods available. There will be one at the beginning of the meeting and also one at the end of the meeting, which is the public's opportunity to address the table and be heard on anything within the city's purview. If you would start by, stepping up to the table, stating your name, where you reside, and then you'll have 3 minutes to be heard from the council. I'd like to add that that is not a public discussion, back and forth period. It's just your opportunity to be heard. After we have closed, the public hearing, generally toward the end of the meeting, what I'll do is I'll give council an opportunity if they'd like to respond. We'll do that separately. Again, there'll be an opportunity at the end of the meeting, and then also for any action items on the agenda, we will have a public comment period specific to that action at that time. Did I get all of those?
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and open the public comment. And we'll start with anybody in the room who would like to address the council on anything within the council's purview. Seeing nobody in the room, we will go to online and, look for cameras to come on, mutes to come off, hands to be raised. And if I don't see anything, then I say public comment going once. And after that, I say public comment going twice. And after that, I say public comment 3 times, and I go ahead and I close the public comment. Again, there will be an opportunity to do that at the end of the meeting as well. I will entertain a motion regarding the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation and the Montana Main Street Grant.
I move to authorize, Red Lodge Area Community Foundation to prepare Montana Main Street Grant as a recipient.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Ronning and a second from Councilmember Conley. Discussion at the table. I'm sorry. Motion from Councilmember Ronning, a second from Councilmember Conley.
Motion from Conley,
Motion from Councilmember Conley.
second from Ronnie.
From Ronning, what did I say?
The opposite.
Something else. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm adopted. My mother would like me to clarify. Discussion at the table, and I have a question. Did we need to include something in that motion that specifically listed or approved RLACF as a sub-recipient of the grant?
That was the tail end of it,
I didn't hear that part of it.
I heard recipient, not sub-recipient.
as a sub-recipient.
There you go.
Okay, will you restate it, just for the record?
I move to authorize Red Lodge Area Community Foundation to prepare Montana Main Street Grant as a sub-recipient.
As a sub-recipient.
Recipient.
All right. Any further discussion at the table?
I think that we should do that.
I agree. I mean, it's an important asset to this town. That Main Street program has funneled quite a bit of money into Red Lodge and our Main Street, and, it should continue.
And I think it's just a good program to be a part of across the board and brings us a lot of resources as well as recognition for all the hard work that many entities put into the community, so.
Especially Red Lodge Area Community Foundation. They've been the ones that have been writing these grants and reporting as necessary for all these years. So, this is a minor thing for the city to declare that they're a sub-recipient
Of this grant.
Yeah.
Of this particular grant.
And Red Lodge has gained, I think it was, it's mentioned that Red Lodge was one of the original, Main Street,
Main Street.
yeah, pilot programs in the state.
Mhm.
And I will add that as of tomorrow, the National Main Street Program is having their meeting, and guess where they're having it? In Red Lodge. So they will be here, starting tomorrow, so. All right, any further discussion at the table before we go to public comment? All right, we will open public comment for, this is specific to the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation and the Main Street Grant. Opening public comment. Seeing nobody jump up from the room,
Got a thumbs up, that was good.
I will look online. Going once, going twice, 3 times, we'll close the public comment on the Main Street Grant. Any further discussion at the table before we take a vote? Hearing none, I call question.
Roll call?
Roll call.
Conley?
I just throwing you for a loop. How did it work?
It did.
Yes.
Daniel?
Yes.
Davis? Yes. Rooney? Yes. Rude?
Yes.
Tupin?
Yes.
6-0, the motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, that concludes the business agenda. I mentioned the business agenda was going to be
Very.
kind of short.
Yeah.
Very, very.
The remainder of the meeting, what we'll do is we will have the council work session, and we go through the individual council standing committees who will update us on what they're working with, solicit input from the full council. If the public has comment or input on this, if you would please make a note, and again, there will be an opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting to weigh in on anything you'd like to. And to start out, we will go to the Public Works Standing Committee, and for that, we'll look from an update from Committee Chair Ronning.
Public
No,
health and safety.
Conley.
We're doing.
I'm sorry, I said
Scare me like
Public
that.
Health and Safety, and I looked at Public Works, I'm sorry.
Just had so much
I
trouble.
was not at that.
I'm gonna get you a cup of coffee
Okay.
I'd like
there.
I'll save him here.
I will look to Committee
Conley.
Chair Conley.
Thank you.
The best part about this job is I have 6 people to keep me in line.
And all women. The chief wasn't there this morning, so we didn't get a bunch of updates from the, police department. We did, hear from the mayor that for the school resource officer, that 3 of our current police officers are somewhat interested in that position. There's still things to do, like the school approving it and writing, I guess the, grant that comes in on the SRO is the one who writes the MOU. So, we're just waiting for that to get started. We did, discuss the annexation into the Red Lodge Rural Fire District and, how it would affect our service, our fire service here in Red Lodge, and we didn't have, the fire chief here, so some of our questions were left unanswered, but, it appears that there wouldn't be any difference in our service to our community, just the way that it is, funded. So we didn't spend a lot of time on that. We did also talk about, tobacco in our public parks, and, we currently have a resolution, and there's gonna be a discussion, I believe, from the Parks Board. Is that who it was?
Okay, I went to Erin Cross's office, she's the public health.
Public Health.
She was not there, and I'm going to talk to her before Parks Board next week, and then I'll inform you all when I get that information.
And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's been some email. I reached out and started a thread and included you on it, so Erin has responded.
Oh, good.
We were
Okay.
also planning on having her come back at the 11th because that is a holiday. She is going to see if she gets approval to come to that meeting for an hour that day, and if not, then we'll schedule her for the 28th instead of the 11th.
but you are on that email, so you have that.
Yep. Mhm.
And she's reaching out and
Okay,
trying
good.
to.
I'll find her and,
The discussion right now is tobacco products, but there are other things that could be smoked as well, so, we'll get to that, we'll start looking
Well,
at
when you
that.
phrase that, you say the other things that can't be smoked, those aren't legal outside of your home. So if that's where you were going, we don't need to
Well,
address
there's also
that.
vaping.
Yeah, so vape, and does that
That's
come
not
with smoking?
smoking.
I don't know.
That's vape, I don't think it does, so.
But
The way you phrased it, I just thought I'd clarify.
I was like,
There's other
I just
people
thought I'd
gonna
leave that
smoke.
open, okay, because right now it's tobacco products, and that's it. And then we discussed the fine levels, because the fine for the first time of doing that is $40. So the fine levels, were set 15 years ago, so we may need to update those just a tad. And that was it. That was the whole meeting.
I can offer a little bit of follow-up, that, from additional, the city, is currently, in process of handling a couple of public health and safety concerns on property cleanups. The date on those, and there was a question about where we were, so I've got those letters and I'll be able to send out. He said that's all public information, I'm still gonna go ahead and redact them before I
sure,
send those through.
I think that's a good idea.
And then the 60 days, actually expires in a couple of weeks. So we're still in that first stage where we gave them 60 days to respond.
Okay, great.
So that was some additional homework that came up this morning that I've been able to chase down.
Right.
No.
So good.
Any
Near
other
that,
questions
probably.
for public health and safety from those other members of council not on that committee? All right, thank you. Next, we will go to admin and finance. And for that, we will look to council chair or committee chair Ronnie.
Also council chair.
Okay, so first off, on, our work session agenda, we have resolution number 3720, fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment. And, basically, this was just one that was missed, with the last ones that we did at our last meeting. And if you look in your packet, it does show that it was for, the EDA grant fund. We had to increase it by $42,226.04 in whatever line item that is. And it's just an audit cleanup.
Yeah, it was a year-end adjustment.
Year-end adjustment, yeah.
And so those are expected and normal because not everything comes in at exactly the pennies that you want it to. And this was one we missed, but thank you to Lonnie for catching it.
If everyone's good, we'll have that for action next time. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, and
Okay.
then, the next thing on the agenda is, the resolution to support annexation into the Red Lodge Rural Fire District, but we do not have that yet, so I do not have really anything, we didn't discuss it today.
Yep.
So there's that. And the other thing, that we talked about was, the Main Street program, and Chelsea and I are both going to attend their, meeting on, November 4th, is that right?
Yes.
To start actively having the city participate again. About a couple of years ago, 2022, I guess, was the last time, the city probably actively participated in it, and that was when we had a planner on staff who would attend those quarterly meetings and help with reporting and help with, if the city had any shovel-ready projects, because that's the main thing when we're applying for these grants, is we have to have shovel-ready projects. The committee's responsibilities, also include training. We have a big list of things and responsibilities, but the main thing is, we have to start helping, with the reporting, the quarterly reporting, and also, participating in, if we have a project or not. What we'll probably do is, the steering committee, whatever you want to call them, will come up with, some type of scored, system to decide, if we have competing grants a year, which grant would get first priority for that year. And then, all of that will be happening soon. So we hope to be, lend a little more support than we have, and, try to help with all of that work that the Community Foundation, Mary Beth, and Bill Foisey and Kat Healy have been shouldering. And so, we will also, and there's a lot that has to happen, before November 14th, if I remember right. So at our next meeting, be prepared to actually, I think we'll be approving the resolution, for that Main Street grant application. It's just one step above what we have already approved tonight. We usually do everything with a resolution, so that will be up for action. And then, we also, please correct me if I'm wrong here, we will be supporting that Red Lodge will continue to be part of the Main Street program.
I think
Is that right?
what it is we're gonna actually be signing that Main Street program and signing off on that. But I think we'll have more firm answers after the November 4th meeting. And I can pull up my minutes. Yes.
Yes.
I'm curious, did things fall through the cracks because we don't have a planner on staff anymore?
I don't think that it fell through the cracks so much as the city just stopped participating in the the quarterly reporting and actually having, working towards having a shovel-ready project. We did utilize some of the grant money from the Main Street program to do the Main Street,
The downtown.
the downtown master
and the
plan.
growth policy.
That money came from the Main Street program.
It-
So we
it-
have used it, but it was.
It's been just kind of a very informal kind of process. A lot of it's fallen on Bill Foisey, and it's kind of like, you know what, we need to put some fences on this and some structure and make it official, so it's not just falling on community members.
All right, sounds good.
One of the things I didn't ask this morning in the meeting, which is, how much is this grant for? Like, what is the dollar amount that we're applying for?
This
Does the
next
community
one,
foundation
Yeah.
apply for it?
In other
Um,
words,
I believe that was in the letter from
yeah,
Kat.
we've got a letter from Kat that was.
In
I was
the
in last
previous week's
I
packet,
don't know
yeah.
if it's in this one. They had provided just a good summary of it,
Yeah, they did.
and it is in this week's packet as well.
30,000.
it's a $30,000 grant.
Mhm.
I'm hearing 30,000.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the number. Yes, it is. Oh, grant funds requested is 50,000 according to the letter supplied by Kat.
But I think, is that the project? Because there's also a match.
This says grant funds requested, so I'm gonna go with that's what we have in writing.
Sounds good.
What was that?
I can clarify, the
Sure.
grant funds will be up to 50,000, and it's a 1-5 match, so the community foundation will be, matching that.
Yeah, so it's 30,000. That tracks.
Yes.
That's where my brain was. I'm like, all these numbers make sense together.
But I will say, I mean, I was part of the Red Lodge Area Community Foundation when we became one of the first cities in Montana, to get the Main Street program. And, it really is an amazing program. Its basic goal is to preserve main streets throughout Montana and not let them die the way they have in certain cities, including my hometown, where it was bypassed by the interstate and it just slowly went away. So it really is all about, supporting Main Streets and Main Street businesses, and, I just really believe in the program, and I was really sad when it was going to go away. So I really appreciated, the Community Foundation and the chamber, those local stakeholders that stepped up and took it over.
And you've upgraded to Red Lodge now, so you're good.
I've updated to Red Lodge, yes.
So just going through our notes from this morning, I think it would be wise of us to have two resolutions. One
Okay.
specifically for this grant cycle, and then one for, continuing to be a partner in the Main Street program. I think just having both of those in place makes it official, and then also, just in
Perfect.
case it's all done.
And then we may learn some additional information about that second resolution.
Exactly.
From the meeting and what we need to do.
Yep.
And authorize the mayor to sign our participation and, or whatever it is.
Exactly, yep. So that's what I have in my notes. And, so we'll have a very nice report at our next meeting.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna add, actually, that will be up for action at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of that November 14th deadline.
Yeah,
Correct.
so is everybody okay with that after our discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And then, next we discussed, some additional, I just passed out some additional information, updates to update our short-term rental annual report. We will be, updating that, and, I don't know if we need to, I guess we could present it to council, full council, it's not that hard, at
Yeah.
a future meeting. I don't know if we wanna put it on next one, or do you wanna wait until the end of November?
Let's wait till the end of November,
Okay.
and, that way for sure we can chat. I think having Danae at our next admin and finance meeting would be helpful if possible.
She won't, cause it's November, oh, wait,
Oh,
yeah, she
Yep.
won't.
The
It's a holiday.
problem here is we have the November 11th meeting.
That's
The
right.
next meeting would be right before Thanksgiving, so there may not be a November 25th meeting.
No, we'll have
that's the Tuesday before. We've traditionally done that.
Have we
We've
done the
traditionally had
Tuesday
meetings
before
there.
Thanksgiving?
We traditionally skip the second December meeting because of
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So we have
Well,
three meetings
put us-
left.
Put us down for December, the meeting in December for that church, that's when we did it last year.
Yeah,
So-
just so that way we can get an update on the software and
Mhm.
if there's any additional data points.
Yeah, so we
Make-
have all the numbers on, where we're at with the limit and number of new ones, all of that, all of that fun information that people
Like to know.
like to know.
Need to know.
Yeah.
And it is maybe worth adding just to that conversation by way of information, at the Montana League Conference this year, they had a forum on vacation rentals, and Jody and I were both
Oh.
invited and participated in that. We also had Whitefish and,
Bozeman,
was it Bozeman?
it
the
was
other one?
Bozeman, yes.
So,
Whitefish
there
and
was-
Bozeman. We were just like the little fish in the sea, they were like.
But we got a lot of good positive feedback and questions and interaction stuff afterwards, so.
Is that available by video?
Yeah, I'd love to
I
see that.
don't know that it is.
God, no.
They wanted to, yeah, there was something they wanted me to meet with their little radio guy and talk for, but it was actually wide out, and I said, take your pick, which one do you want me at? So they sent me to this one, so.
Yeah. So, anyway, so then, next, you'll be happy to know that we are finally back working on our business registration ordinance and our short-term, rental ordinance, that cleaning those two documents up so that the short-term rental ordinance and the business registration ordinance do not contradict each other.
Yep.
Changing business licenses to business registration, everything that we've been working on for the last 4 years, we're finally gonna finish it.
Yes.
And,
Cleaning.
yes.
All it is, cleaning.
I know, cleaning it up. We would most likely like to, don't know if it'll be ready, think we can have for discussion next time, we're really
I think
close.
it could be ready for
I think
discussion next
so.
time, in terms of having it ready for action.
So we could have a discussion at our November 11th,
And then we'll have it in the packet at the next one.
yeah.
So it's
or-
gonna be below the fold on November 11th,
Yeah,
business registration?
and then we can have it, we'll see how it goes, but we could be able to pass this by the end of the year. If we had it up for action in the end of November and the end of, because it's an ordinance, so it takes 2 readings, so.
Oh, yeah.
So we could do it.
We're so close.
We are very
We
close.
really are.
So, I think, anything else, ladies, that I may have forgotten? Okay, we're good.
And thank you. Any other questions for the Admin and Finance Committee from the rest of council? Hearing none, let's go to land use and planning. And for that, we will look to, Committee Chair Tupin.
That's me, yeah. So land use and planning, just a quick look at our agenda, so I can remember all the things we discussed. We didn't discuss too much at that moment. We have been talking about the tennis courts and bringing together a resolution to, approve their development MOU. And this would just be authorizing Dave to sign off on that and what that would be. And again, we went over this at our last meeting, but it would be essentially giving them the opportunity to move forward with grant applications, receiving that funding, and that funding will be specifically used for the engineering and the studies and the development of the plan. So it's kind of phase 1 of multiple This doesn't absolutely 100% lock them into that space or secure that space, but it does give them the footing to be able to do so moving forward. So, we will have a resolution in place. Do we want that above the fold next week, or do we want to look it over one week and then vote following? I think we could probably have it vote ready by next week. It's gonna look very similar to most of our other resolutions.
I'm good with it being up for action.
Mhm.
I mean, we've talked about it twice now, so.
Yep.
I mean, and this is just to approve the MOU for them to
Yep.
do the design and development.
And the MOU is very thorough. It is, in the packet. I think it has been for the past 2 weeks. And then essentially just saying that, yeah, essentially it's very thorough. They use an example of the soccer fields for doing so. So this is something that we have done in the past as well. So that is, my recommendation is that we put that up for action at the following meeting.
Did the attorney read through this, or did he's the one who wrote it?
Parts of it are not done yet, so we will have we have his input. Prior to that, they're gonna meet with the Parks Board next Wednesday. I'm just looking at the timing of the date, because Wednesday is Parks Board and the packet goes out Friday morning, so that's basically a 24 to 36 hour turn up. We can get it done, we'll put it for action
Yeah.
on the 11th. If not, worst case scenario, it'll be below the fold, because then we
Yeah.
can still hand out stuff at the meeting and then have it for action at the first December meeting.
Yep.
And my understanding of the grant is, it's there, it's ear tagged for us, so they'll approve it and sign up on their stuff once we get it to them.
Yeah, we just don't want to drag our feet too much because it is government funding.
Is there a deadline on the grant?
No.
There is not. That money is already set aside for us.
Okay.
So that would be good to have that done. And then one of the other things that will be coming, one of the requests that we did have was letters of recommendation from the Parks Board, Public Works, and Brian Hanna. So that way we have city support.
Staff reports, basically.
Yep, and just making sure that they have looked this over and reviewed, and that they're in agreement that this should cover what needs to be there, so.
Have those by.
Yep.
So who's getting that? Do you know, are they getting the letters of support directly to them and they're gonna presenting them, or is council chasing those down? How are we?
Would
The
you
staff
like me to
reports, I
reach out
understand.
to Mike and Brian?
No, I will take care of the staff
That's
report
good,
stuff.
okay. Yeah, 'cause otherwise-
But the additional letters of support, I was thinking they were collecting and,
Yes, they are, Roger
Okay.
is specifically, yep.
Okay.
So we should have that after this meeting.
I have a question for Barb. Barb, are you on the agenda next week for Parks Board? Have you made sure of that?
So,
I mean,
well, Roger's gone, but,
well,
yeah,
Beth Graham would be, just so you're on the agenda for next week.
I'll check.
I
I'll
think that's a
check
good,
into-
good
yeah.
safety.
Yep.
So
Yeah, to
then,
fine tune and build the resolution that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And in fairness, we should have that, we should be able to have that resolution mostly ready. We don't have to
Yeah.
wait until Wednesday to start on it,
No, I think that,
so.
again,
that's
I was
me.
just waiting on an example from one of our previous ones we've done for
Yeah.
MOUs, so once I have that, I can, do it.
I've got a binder full of examples.
perfect.
Yes, I chose that one.
binder.
Yep. So other than that, in terms of land use and planning, we have also been working on, and I know we mention this every meeting just because we love input, and we've actually made some decent progress this week, where before we're just like dreams, and now we're actually putting it on paper. So specifically, we, are working on a process for designating or changing land use of city-owned land specifically. And right now, we're working on a flow chart for what that application would look like. We did get something rough draft on paper, so we'll be continuing to discuss that at the next meetings. And then from that, I imagine there's gonna be a long laundry list of additional supporting documents that we're going to need to go along with this application process. Whether that's examples, whether that's lists of criteria and requirements, directions for different boards and staff members for how they need to evaluate, like evaluative process. There, again, this is gonna be a binder, less of a packet, we'll call it that.
Do you anticipate that flowcharty type document will be ready to include in the packet and share with council below the fold, or you guys still want to go another cycle or two before it comes to full council?
I mean, for the flow chart, the draft of it, I mean, we can show what we have. I sent
Yeah.
that,
I saw the flow chart,
yeah,
Yeah.
less of a flow chart and more of a steps, but same concept, less pretty, but it's detailed, so.
Yeah, I think, I'm trying to think what more we would add to it or take away from it.
Again, I think it'd just be good for us to have a discussion.
I do too.
But let's, we can certainly put it in next week's packet, and then we can have our discussion at land use and planning and then bring it to the table. Because again, it is certainly not ready for showtime by any means, but at the same time, more input, the better. This is a big one,
I'm
so.
trying to think, and I welcome help from the table. There was one of the meetings, and I'm trying to think what the topic was, and it was actually Public Works and Sidewalks, so we'll get to that one yet.
Next.
That I know there's gonna be some questions that come to the full council, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a big portion of what,
If you're ready, we'll include it. If you're not, we won't.
no, again, I have no issue including it. Like, again, we're just kind of drafting. It's very, I just more so would be concerned with bringing it to the table and people being like, this is awful. And it's like, well, yeah, it's very rough draft. I just don't want to discourage folks by seeing a very raw product. We'll put it that way.
Anything else? Any questions for land use and planning from the rest of the table? All right, then we will go to Public Works. And would you believe Public Works is Committee Chair Ronnie?
Yes, it is. It is. Okay, so on our agenda tonight, we have the stormwater, PRE, PER, I'm sorry.
Preliminary Engineering Report.
Yes, PER, I don't know why.
Gotta love
Yes.
acronyms.
I was thinking
I
PRD.
have it written right here, I just read it wrong.
PRD?
So anyway, what this is, everyone should have gotten the link, I believe. I don't know if you opened it or not, but it's 300 and, how many pages long?
93.
Yeah, so that's why it was not printed out and in the packet, but there is a link
It
there.
is available online for anybody who would like to switch from counting sheet to something else. It is available online. You all do have in the handout tonight just the executive summary from that, which is a much more manageable 9 pages.
Gotcha.
Or 8 pages, and we will include that in the packet for the general public next time.
Yes. So what this is, it is for, phase 4 of our stormwater project. And, it addresses sites 1, 2, and 3. And, site 1 is, Broadway. There's apparently 4 intersections on Broadway that are still tied to the sewer that will need to be, switched over to stormwater. There is site 2, which is McGillen to Hauser, approximately 15th to 17th Street. There's numerous stormwater, tied to sewer in that area. And, Mike did say there's a couple of sites that weren't included in site 2 that he will be, adding, before we actually approve it. So he'll work with Great West on that. And site 3 is, the drainage ditches that come off the hill. So, and in his words, if something goes sideways, like the water starts going across the street, or the culvert freezes and the water starts freezing and you have an ice skating rink like we had last year, or the water's going into a house, he, would like to, strategically locate stormwater inlets to capture that water, due to the overflow. So to help mitigate some of those issues. But it wouldn't be to take all of that water and put it in the stormwater because, you know, people apparently like their little irrigation ditches going through their yards.
You're talking
over
about
there.
the west bench?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
This is actually below the north end, so this is on, the south end of town.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
22nd
Like
Street.
22nd
Yeah,
Street, where
the water comes down.
there's some apartments there.
Yeah.
And that particular road, there's a couple of homes there that continually have ice access only through the winter.
Oh.
So, like I say, it's not, and he wanted to emphasize it was not to take all of the water coming out of the hill and put it into the stormwater. It wasn't that at all.
It wasn't to take away irrigation.
Yeah.
It was to manage it.
Yeah, it was just to, when we have those overflow situations or, a rain event where the ditches are overflowing, so that water can go somewhere besides into someone's house.
Is he working with DEQ or DNRC on this project in terms of locating where the water's coming from and what might be causing some of these overages?
So it's part of what the PER is gonna determine.
Yeah,
And
and
there
Great
is-
West Engineering. the one who's heading that up.
Yep.
And
So they're
this
drilling
has,
this
this
week.
requires a public notice and a public hearing. So this was one of the reasons that I reached out to make sure everybody was okay with the meeting on the 11th, because the public notice is going in the paper on Thursday. We had to have that in by Monday to do that. And so that public notice is going in the paper for the public hearing on the 11th.
So,
And Great West will be here. So if after reading 393 pages, you have any questions, they will be happy to answer any and all of those questions.
so he did say that he felt, the price seemed a little optimistic. It was basically $2.196 million. But, you know, it's also, apparently, scheduled, it's a 2028 project.
All of this is 28.
Yes.
2028.
For the work.
Yes, of course. And, to pay for this project, he says there might be a couple of grant opportunities that they can go after. We do have our 1% stormwater, from the resort tax. That money will hopefully also be available. He doesn't feel that, the city will be in any position by then to apply for any more additional loans at that time. But you never know, so, because it is 2028. So if anybody has any, go ahead.
Well, this all might become clear to me after I finish the 368 pages, but, this looks like it affects a lot of Ward 2. What meeting should I advise my constituents to come to? Anything now, or
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks?
Have them go read the
Basically,
396 pages and then show up to the meeting in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks, I will tell them.
But,
Right.
but there's
Lots
lots
of
of nice pictures and maps in it too. It's
But-
not just, you know,
It has
so it
pictures.
shows, yeah.
Well, I'll tell them anyway about the meeting.
We don't know if we're paying our engineering company by the word or by the page or by
Okay.
the picture, but there's lots.
Thank you, I'll tell them 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
Got it,
So,
thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions on the stormwater PER?
There's an additional section on that because they're gonna go do all the work and everything, right? This is just the start of the process.
Yes.
So when it's done, they will come back and have a full presentation and
Yeah,
stuff as well.
but I-
And your constituents will wanna come to there
Yes.
as well.
But it's good to get everybody informed as soon as possible.
I know, and Mike did, make a comment as well that even though they've got a lot of stormwater, of the phases complete, they're still receiving a lot of huge spikes, during rain events. So, you know, this next phase will hopefully help with some of that, so that we're not treating stormwater in our sewer plant. So,
And again, just a reminder that when you look at all of the utilities available from the city, the first wall we're gonna bump up against is sewer. And so getting our stormwater out of there is a significant, step in making sure we can handle growth.
so, and then, so is everybody going to be okay with that as a public hearing and a vote next time?
Yep.
Okay.
There's no vote, though.
Oh, there's no vote?
It's just a public hearing.
It's just a public hearing?
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay,
I did clarify that with you.
Okay, thank you.
It was just a public hearing.
okay, so we're not actually voting on anything?
It'll be above the fold, but just as a public hearing.
It'll start, like, after we get finished the top of the fold, it'll be at the bottom of the fold. Is that the public hearing?
No, the public hearing is next time. That'll be above the fold.
Above the
We
fold,
just
okay.
don't vote on it, so
Okay.
we don't accept the PR because they haven't done it yet.
Okay.
That will be the second meeting that I said.
So that
that
three
we're
hundred
gonna
and
come back to.
ninety-six pages is from the PER? I mean, that, I'm like, wait,
No, it's a PER.
that,
It is.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you just, but it's just a public hearing first, and then any comments or whatever from the
Okay.
hearing
Thank you.
will be put into that PER.
And then we
And
accept and
then-
adopt it,
Then it'll come
Okay.
back to the city for final approval.
Thank you for clarifying that.
so there's time between
You're
there.
just so confusing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Lonnie.
I know.
They will.
Okay. All on track. Okay, I know, thank you, Lonnie. Okay, and then next, we did talk that took up, most of our meeting, but we did start talking about our 50/50 sidewalk program that the city, that will come to city council for hopefully adoption. We did, fund it in our budget. And basically what that is, we are coming up with a program where if, a property owner wants to replace their sidewalk, the city will pay 50% of the project. So, and this is to help, it's been used in other communities, Shoto, Lewistown, and we're Mike kind of went out and took their programs and consolidated them. He's still working on them, doing a lot of editing. It will help, hopefully, encourage people to fix the sidewalks around town that are in really poor condition. So,
Yeah.
There were some questions that kind of came up. Oh,
Go ahead.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a reminder, we allocated $50,000 from resort tax for this program. It was recommended that to kind of limit it and keep one group from coming in and taking all of it, particularly those commercial businesses, that it was a cap at $10,000 availability. And a lot of them may not be to that high, but that basically means a $20,000 project, they'd get 10,000 of that done. Is everybody kind of okay with that? That technically means 5 people could
Yeah,
use it up.
I thought we heard 5,000 at one point, now it's up to 10,000?
10 is what they had used in those other communities, so we're just using that as a starting point.
I hate that only 5 people can take advantage of this.
My guess is that would be commercial installations, that would be that much.
Well, this is the first year and we're just trying it out, so let's see how it goes.
Okay. Another thing is they had ruled out do it yourself. Hey, we just want to get the concrete. And the discussion was, that they wanted to do is, there's a phrase in there that requires an insurance, they're licensed with the state and they are an insured contractor, and it felt like that kind of ruled out DIYs.
Do it
Everybody was
yourself.
good with that. And
Don't help.
and then,
we also had the in-kind assistance from the city,
the pre-work, basically.
yeah, to tear out the old sidewalks.
And that's not included in the 10,000 limit?
No, that doesn't apply to, and they've got several things in there, and again, this will come to council, for discussion before they put the finals in place. But that was, and it does not cover supplementary stuff. So if you have a tree that is grown up and there's a root there, the removal of that tree is not covered under this.
It's just for the sidewalks.
It's just basically for concrete. The other thing in regard to that 10,000 actually, what they had in there before, in those other communities is there's a couple different variations where it went to the public works director if the request was more than 10,000 asked. And then in one of the cities, they went to council approval. The council, the standing committee today pretty much wanted to push that to the public works director rather than bringing that to council for approval. How does council as a whole?
And our reasoning, let me just say what our reasoning is. I would be okay with, putting some guidelines in place on when it could go over that, if it were in a heavily trafficked area, like.
School routes.
School route, something like that, where it might be over, so I would be okay with council including something like that,
And one of those communities had an example where it was like the sidewalks all the way around, like the post office building and another sort of a thing. So there's a couple of different things there.
The high traffic area.
And again, so going back to the 10,000, my biggest, the prediction is that we won't use all the money up. It takes a few years for this to come up to speed. I would love if the money's gone by July or August next year. I would consider that a huge success. And I think if it's not, it's because we haven't marketed it, made the information available.
And be honest, I mean, if we end up with like a lot of people that want to participate, there's a possibility we could increase the funding next year.
Right.
To
Or
get more people.
Next year.
Yeah, next
once
year.
we see the demand.
Right, exactly. Right now, we have 50,000. It's a start.
Right. And if we don't get a lot of people that are willing to pay half, what about a vote system to actually do an entire block? Because that's one thing too, is like if you have someone coming in, they might not want to come in because they're the only person on their block wanting to put it in front of their place and they don't want to have to pay the whole bit. But if it's one of those things where we don't get anybody who wants to actually chip in and pay, we take that $50,000, add it to another 50 next year, and do an entire block voted on by the people of what's the worst condition.
So the city there's a mechanism available to local governments called SID, Special Improvement District.
No, very aware of this. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
And, well, that's the mechanism you're talking about. So you basically, they get
No.
to pay for it, it's just done all at once.
No, what I'm saying is, instead of them paying for it as a SID, it would be literally coming out of the resort tax the same way. It would-
Not going
I
on the
vote to
property tax.
spend resort tax to fix all the sidewalks on my block. That's a no-brainer.
Right. But, I mean, I
But we
personally
have a
would
lot of
not
blocks
vote
in
for
this
my
town.
own block. Like, I would vote for probably one of the other blocks in town, probably further and closer into town, like near the post office or off of Hauser in that direction, somewhere more centered, because my block doesn't make any sense. And I imagine that there's actually gonna be a fair amount of practical people that would feel the same. Especially parents with kids.
Again,
I'm
yeah,
not-
safe routes to school has to be a priority. If we ended up with that 50,000 at the end of the year that wasn't spent, all you have to do is look and see where all the school crossings are, and look and see if those have sidewalks.
Again, you could even do it that way, just have Public Works say, this block needs it the most.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, as opposed to this
Let's
going
spend it.
to waste, we spend it, if it's not getting utilized in this fashion, I would still like to see sidewalks getting fixed.
Now I'm tracking, okay.
Yeah.
And I will share, because we are doing a lot as part of that EDA project next year.
Yep.
There are several sidewalks that the city is covering the cost for, because they are part of those
Yep.
safe routes to school and stuff.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, the pushback has already been, how come their sidewalk is getting done and not mine? Well, because they happen to live on the route, and we can have those conversations, but just know those discussions.
Right.
As soon as you
Okay
give
to have
something
an
away to
answer.
somebody,
I don't have an answer.
everybody else is gonna say, but how come we
So-
didn't get picked?
So this program is specific to, it's a first come, first served basis, and I just really hope people utilize it.
I do
So
too.
it's a start,
Yeah.
it really is. And if we end up with a bunch of people in one block that want to apply for it, I mean, I think that's great. You could have one contractor come in, they'd probably be able to do it for less cost because they're doing the whole thing.
Yep.
I mean, I think that could definitely be possibly, a bigger project,
Councilmember Tupin, can I restate what I think I kind of heard as we went around and tell me how close I am?
Mm-hmm.
That we build in here that basically says, any unused money at the end is used on projects as designated by council?
As
Or-
designated by council for sidewalk-specific projects. But I mean, truly, how we designate that can be open. Again, community involvement could be fun.
But you said vote, and I don't see a ballot issue going out to everybody to say.
No, it could be like a survey online, like, again, the same way that you do it on, it doesn't have to be that official, we'll put it that way. More so, what I would love to see is that this
That the money
funding.
goes to sidewalks.
Yep, and if we feel that it was not a success this year, that we reevaluate and not necessarily get rid of the program entirely, but just reevaluate it and figure out how we can make it work and function better.
How we make sure it gets spent.
Yep, how we can make sure sidewalks get better.
Patty, did you have a question? No. Okay. Okay, any other, questions on this? It's not ready for,
Prime time.
prime time yet, but, hopefully, maybe we can have it up for discussion sometime, do you think?
Below the fold?
Do you think we'll be able to, at least, it's rough right now, but we could at least have it out there for talking points next time.
Okay.
Actual copy. Mike just gave us this copy, an hour before our meeting.
It's got
So, we gotta do
rough.
we gotta do some edits and tweaks, but,
So below the fold sidewalks.
and we may be passing it out at the meeting for people to read, so.
Sorry, yeah, okay. So this is for funding that has to be spent possibly unless we decide otherwise by June 30th, 2026.
Yes.
So it's already incorporated in this budget, and then we're just trying to get it up and running with this and then publicize.
You raise a good point, because one of the things he said is it has to be done within the fiscal year, and this fiscal year ends in June.
Yep.
So that means they're doing construction pretty much in
winter.
June. All of those projects are pretty much gonna be happening in June, because that's like the first real reliable
Well, it
in
could,
June.
it could be approved by June 30th and paid out of last year's budget.
So
right?
committed, but not
We
finished.
just would carry it over,
His-
just like when we've got the vac truck and we budgeted
Yeah.
for it this
Yeah,
year,
but
we paid for
his
it.
draft actually had it done, his draft actually said within the fiscal year, and so that may be something we have to just revisit.
Completed
No.
within the fiscal year?
Yeah,
Okay, not committed.
so we could change that to committed,
Yeah.
if you never know. June could be snow and rain and you can't pour
Yeah.
concrete,
It would
so,
be hard to, yeah.
or you could, but most people don't want to.
Is there a general estimate on, say, it's 25
50 foot.
or 50 foot, whatever is in front of us?
The closest thing I can tell you is I'm aware of a neighbor within a block or two of here, and I wanna say they did two of them, two combined houses, and I wanna say they said 5,800 for the sidewalks in front of two homes.
5,800?
That'd be awesome.
I think having a estimate would be very helpful as we, is
Yep.
going forward.
It'll make it a lot easier
So-
for folks, like, and
Yeah.
especially if you just have contractors, it's like, I have done this bid, I am ready to do it, you let me know, and then they'll come take a site visit, and like, that could be a really quick process.
And it doesn't involve removing trees or anything, so it should be straight across the board. It's just
That's all we're
cutting the
paying
sidewalks,
for.
pouring clean sidewalks, yeah.
And the
So that
lots are
should be
generally
easier to
50
get.
feet across,
And
All
front.
homes and lots are 50 feet. Okay.
generally.
And then downtown, and they're coming up with some design standards, but at the same time, it can't be a one-size-fits-all, because we can't say, put in a 5-foot sidewalk and everything else on the block's a 3-foot,
Yeah,
for
you
instance.
might not need,
Well,
yeah, the
Jody,
entire.
before our meeting in 2 weeks, I'm gonna do some research about the costs, about, it's easy to find that kind of stuff, so,
I can share a name that you can talk to.
Okay, great.
right, That,
Mhm.
that somebody you deal with
Sure.
regularly, so.
We have to,
Thank you.
mhm.
yeah, realize there's the tear out, which could be in kind, but also the leveling, so.
Well, I like the fact that they have skin in the game, that, you know, it's a pride of improving your yard, your look, and I like the fact that they do have to have skin in the game, and I'd like to stick to that program, that it's a true 50-50, and, but I think it's exciting, and, I'm happy to do whatever I can to get this thing going.
Yeah, I hope it goes well.
Okay. That is all we had, correct, from?
Yep.
Any other questions for Public Works from the rest of the table? All right, hearing none, we will move on to correspondence. I will note that there were a couple of pieces of correspondence received, since the packet went out, that will be included in next week's packet. Lonnie, you got those, correct?
Yep.
Any other correspondence or interaction that, or the table would like to share with the rest of the table?
I didn't.
Are you referring to the text message?
No, there's an email message that regarding the airport that was received by several council members, and so it'll be in the packet next time, so make sure everybody gets it.
The text messages were included in the like, okay, so,
Okay.
And that,
I texted, I saw a text of mine, but it was about Parks Board, it wasn't about the
yeah,
airport.
it wasn't about the
Okay.
airport, the one that I was inquiring
We was
about.
just
for
trying to
tonight.
get people, how to get involved with the agenda, and just told them who to call.
Okay, all right, so we didn't, I
Yeah.
didn't know if we needed to discuss anything.
No.
Okay.
Wanted to
Thank
know
you.
about Parks Board.
Okay, anything else in general that council would like to use the excuse of correspondence to introduce to the topic, to the table? I mean, technically, council has the ability to introduce anything and require it to be put on the agenda by vote. So I just like, this is one of those good spots where things like that could be flipped in if they need to be, so.
The only thing I would say is, just with Halloween coming up on Friday, be very extra cautious about the kiddos, because downtown is pure madness, and it's adorable madness, but it's madness, and I don't know if maybe it is something to where Public Works could put out some additional, like the pedestrian signs that we have. Like, that might be beneficial, just because those kids don't look. It's candy on their mind.
We have
Friday from 3 to 5.
We've
Just as a
considered,
reminder, when is Boys and Girls Club closing their street? What night?
Thursday.
Thursday night, between 9th and 10th? Okay.
We've
Is that
discussed,
open to the public?
Sure.
Event?
we've discussed over and over again about perhaps closing down Broadway for Halloween, just for safety. But, I would have to leave that to the chamber to do because I've never done it, and I'm the one that is in charge of the trick or treat for
Oh, man,
Tots.
let's just talk to the fire department. They got the trucks. We could make this happen.
Yeah.
And that's on Friday.
It's on Friday for Halloween.
From 3 to 5.
3 to 5 for the trick or treating downtown, but there's things going on all over town. I believe right after the 3 to 5 is the Elks, costume contest.
Yeah.
And there's,
Trunk or treat at the Community Foundation.
yeah, there's all kinds of things going on all over.
I love
Or at
that.
Roosevelt Center,
Yeah.
Roosevelt Center, thank you.
Okay, so I'm formulating a staff request, we're gonna get the signs back out.
Yes.
Where they going out at 2 o'clock on Friday for how long of a stretch?
Until well, I would say till 6.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase the question.
'Cause
Starting at what block north and ending at what block south?
11th,
Yeah, the primary 3 blocks, I think.
11th to the library. What is that, 8th?
Yeah, but I don't even think you have to take it that far down.
Well, if they're going clear down to the Elks this time.
Yeah, I just don't think that
I
you
distributed
get the
the
kids.
flyers
Oh, yeah,
all
I
the way
guess they
down.
go all the way down.
I
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I sat in front of back alleys and it is slammed down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, let's take it all the way down.
So are we quitting here on 11th, or are we going a block or two south of here too?
No, you gotta
Because-
go.
Oh, I'm sorry, not 11th, 14th.
14.
13th.
Because the flyers,
Whichever one Snow Creek is on.
that's 13th.
Cause the kids are
We're
gonna
gonna
get
do- we're
everything
gonna
from
do-
the bar to the Elks.
That's right, yeah, that's what
We're
they
gonna
do.
No, to the 14th,
parents
because
will.
I also, also covering Broadway and, the
So,
photographer, and he's on 14th.
At MERS.
Yeah.
Merv's is 14th,
Okay, so at MERS.
so 8th to 14th.
So to close Broadway, you have to apply to the state.
I
Which
forget
is
about it
why
every year
I would ask
until
the
it
chamber to
happens.
do this, because they've done this before and I haven't.
It's just a simple application to fill out, but
Yep.
yes, I'm sure Sherry would help you.
I'm sure
That'd
she
be
will.
super fun.
And I
love
talk
it.
with Sherry about it every year, and then we just kind of slide away.
We could do
So.
hay bales.
Hey,
Let's just do like, we'll do it like Christmas stroll, but it's the Halloween march or whatever.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be dark.
Harvest
Oh, no, no, it's not gonna be dark till the next day, so good. Halloween's perfect.
Yeah.
Do
It'll
we
be
have
like-
another public comment time?
We do.
Okay, I don't even say, I was
Put
just,
your vote down, we're not done yet. Anything else for correspondence from the table?
No, but I have public comment.
Okay, so with that,
I don't have anything to say.
yep. With that, we will go to public comment. This is the final public comment of the evening. Again, your opportunity to address the council on anything within the council's purview. I'll go ahead and open that public comment, and I'm gonna make people at the table wait. Since you didn't take
That would be
tens of
polite.
correspondence, you're gonna wait until the end of the public comment period. I'll go ahead and open public comment.
Oh, yay, good.
Go ahead, step up and introduce yourself.
Barb Beck, and I'm not gonna talk about tennis.
Oh.
Community Foundation got a grant called the Paul Brune Grant for fixing up historic structures. And we had a pretty extensive competition process for those funds. And we had a lot more applicants and need than we had money for.
Wow.
And I wonder if those could be popped into the Main Street program as shovel-ready projects. Seems like that would help the downtown, and maybe you could get on top of things. Anyway,
Great idea.
one idea, and then on your sidewalk project, I just got into everything tonight. On your sidewalk project, someone in your ward waited 2 years for a contractor to be available to pour sidewalk. So I think you might run into contractor availability problems, and it might help to reach out to them and say, we've got this program. They could even help publicize it. And what they do for a small project is they wait, they get trucks from Billings. They wait until they do a big project and they have a little bit left over, then they call somebody and say, okay, now I can do your sidewalk. So if there's some way for there to be coordination, like all the city's sidewalk projects during one week or 2 days, so they knew they could get a truck up here or 2 trucks and lock in
I
that
agree,
time.
there's gonna be piddly jobs, and I don't know if.
They're piddly jobs, that's
so,
right.
And
They're pouring new houses and basements and big scale stuff, so.
okay,
There have been a couple contractors we've already interfaced with that have basically said, we'll go down and hit this block and blah, blah, blah. So kind of that same thing, getting
Yeah.
in bulk.
Thank
Great,
you.
great.
Yep.
suggestion.
Thanks, Barb.
Thank you.
Is there a way to get more info on this Paul Brune grant? Is it
Yeah,
something online or?
Kendall
Art.
Ard at the Community Foundation.
Paul Brune.
I can send her.
And I know one of
Don't
the
know anything about
projects
it.
that was approved, which is Windows at the Roman, was, what other projects were included in that?
The Yodeler, I know the,
The YBRA
oh yeah, the Yellowstone Research,
on
up in
Shawano,
Oh,
up here.
South.
There were more, Magpie,
Magpie,
the theater got quite a bit.
Yeah, the
Good.
theater
The
got it
tea
too.
cannery came in after deadline, and so that would be a shovel-ready project, would be,
But they're not on Main Street.
They're not Main Street.
Oh.
They have to be on
they're
Main
too
Street,
far.
right?
So that'd be part of the community district. Well, for the grant itself,
Yeah.
there was the Yodeler, was a big one, they got a big portion of it, and then also there was
Yeah,
a
they need it.
place over in Bridgers that did it as well.
There wasn't
the
anything
beer
else on the
gallery.
Main Street
There
here,
was Rock Shop as well.
the Rock Shop.
Yeah.
And not all of them got funded to their full ask,
Mhm.
most of them did though.
So I'll reach out to Barb after the meeting and get information on Kendall's contact and then follow up there.
I can just give you her
Yeah.
email if you'd like.
Okay.
It's kendall@rlacf.org.
I hope I remember. That's a cool grant.
I'll write it for you.
No, do it here.
Okay.
It's a great grant. Yeah.
One or two L's.
Does Kendall have two L's, Mary Beth?
Okay.
A-L-L?
Just walk in.
Kendall.
You know.
K-E-N-D-A-L-L.
It wasn't quite that
All right, let me kind of pretend I've got control of this meeting for a moment. Go back to public comment, looking first to the room, anyone? Anyone at all? All right, seeing none in the room, let's go to online. Go ahead, Angie, I see a mute button, you have 3 minutes.
Angie. Oh, she's gone. Oh, no, she's.
Yeah, she is.
Hi, Angie.
Angie, oh, there you go.
I wanted to bring up, a while ago, I heard the idea thrown out about possibly having a kiosk where people could hang up their posters of what's going on around town. The city could post information there. And I haven't heard any discussion about it at all since. So I don't know if it got set aside or not a possibility, so I just wanted to bring that up again and get council thinking about it and maybe consider, because I've heard a number of people recently talk about how it's hard to find out what's going on around town. And that might be a useful way of communicating.
Thank you.
I don't know anything about that.
Hey, never heard of it.
The chamber has one of those kiosks, I think the president's one of them.
Yeah, it's rough.
But it's, yeah, and maybe not ideal location.
We'll come back and do follow-up conversation when we get done with public comment. Any others online? All right, hearing none. I don't remember hearing this kiosk conversation before.
Don't remember.
I haven't either.
It was brought up a lot. I remember I was in a meet, like a,
Land use and planning meeting?
yeah, like a, but it was like way back.
Is Angie still there? Is there any information, since we all are befuddled, is there some more information you can give us?
Actually, I can't
I
tell
don't
you
know.
exactly where it was. Maybe it was a conversation in Sylvan Peak, but it was Mayor Westwood who came up with that idea.
Oh,
That was your idea.
Was I there?
Oh, it was
Okay, we'll
coming
do a
out of
call.
your
I'm-
mouth, so I guess you were there.
No.
Wow.
Funny.
I don't remember it, but, was I snoring at the time? Okay. All right, going for public comment once, twice, 3 times. We'll go ahead and close the public comment. Thank you all for coming and attending and participating in our meeting this evening. Thank you to council.
Can we have public comment at the table?
Oh, yes, before I close the public comment, did I say once, twice, and you gotta say now at the table?
I got you before the third time.
All right, there we go. Council Member Conley.
I just wanted to point out that the Rotary Club is now, working with the Elks. And we're going to be setting up the Veterans, Memorial flags and dog tags this Saturday at noon. Anybody that wants to show up and help, we have 246 of them, so there's a lot of work to be done. So, noon at Beartooth Billings Clinic.
And Red Lodge is hosting the first round of playoff games.
Of course.
Red Lodge Rams playing
On-
Broadview.
On Saturday at 1.
Saturday at 1.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm not sure.
You had to throw that out right after she says at noon, we need help people.
Well, and then I was like, do that, and then,
I already, yeah,
yeah.
it happened last year
It
too.
did, same time.
Yeah, it's for Veterans Day, they'll be up, 2 weeks,
And Rocky's playing Montana Tech.
of course.
All right, any other public comments from the table?
Good.
Going once, twice, 3 times, now it's really closed public comment. I think I remember doing that. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion for number 12.
Just to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn? Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
I always do, that's a question.